Warning. This program may contain material of an explicit or graphic nature. Viewer discretion is advised.
Broadcasting undead from the B ward, this is Mortem. I'm Dom.
And I'm JD. And today, we're going to give you our top 5 fat people in horror.
The Chubby Choppers.
The Chubby Choppers. It's near and dear to my stomach, this topic. Yeah, the fat people in horror. A lot of times, they're annoying.
Yeah.
It could have been our douchebags list. We could have done fat douchebags. Because a lot of mine are douches. They're not necessarily
specific list.
Likable characters for the most part. But
I think I've got like one that I think was kind of likable.
I got a few, but for most part, they're annoying. They're whiny. Yeah. You want them to die.
Yeah.
So we're going for the fats. Domino fats. And here in the B ward, we're both a little under the weather. We both are sick.
I've got this weird combination of Vicodin, Dayquil, and Red Bull running through my system, so if I fly off the handle at any point, like, that's probably why.
I have beer and Dayquil going through my system right now. And rudimentary peni.
Nice. I scored their first album, like, a full remaster on 180 milligram vinyl. It sounds fucking amazing.
Awesome.
And it has, like, all the original art and this giant, like, 8-panel fold-out poster that's all, like, it's a copy, but it's all hand-drawn.
Of Nick Blinko's drawings, yeah. His drawings are so awesome. I met some dude who had nothing but tattoo sleeves of his drawing.
Wow.
But they're all shitty drawings.
Right.
So it looked like you had prison tattoos. If you didn't know what it was, like, it's cool because I was like, oh, that's awesome. Rudimentary peanut. But if you met him and you had no idea who Nick Blinko was,
you just think somebody went fucking crazy on with a gun.
Yeah. So, I have Archaic, the one with the horse.
Yeah.
Not their best. I have that on vinyl.
Nice.
Death Church is my favorite.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing album. It sounds even better on the remaster and all the artwork, and like it has original like copies of the typed up manifestos that he threw in there, and like all the cool shit.
Well, if you guys if you like our opening theme that we play on every episode and sometimes closing theme, check it out, Rudimentary Peni. If they're releasing it on vinyl, if you're into vinyl, check it out. But EPs of RP and Death Church, if you only get those two, and if you like the weirdness of it, you want to get a little crazier, you can get Cacophony.
Yeah, Cacophony's great. That's actually my favorite of their albums.
Way batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Then it goes with Pope Adrian, the 37th Psychosis, or whatever it's called.
Shit that he wrote in the mental hospital.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and if you don't like our opening song, just do yourself a favor and punch yourself in the anus until your fist goes all the way in.
Are you saying the man who tried to shove a rubber fist in my anus is a homosexual? All right, it's time for some horror news. Horror news. Oh, yes. So, I'll start us off this week.
I heard you have some awesome news.
I do. I have some good news. Good news and not feeling too good, when we're all sick.
Yeah.
Cheers us up a little bit.
Yeah, that's right. Add some lemonade to this lemon or something like that.
Make lemonade out of lemons.
That's right.
Yeah.
When life hands you lemons...
Make a large shake out of a big old fat lady.
Large shakes. That's our rating system.
Large shakes. All right. There we go. If you didn't already know, the upcoming It adaptation / reimagining will be a 2-part movie. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
It's going to be 2 separate movies.
Makes
kind of like
sense.
they do to the fucking Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Goddamn Harry Potter.
It's such a long story.
Fuck you, Harry Potter. Just confirmed.
Harry Pooter.
Harry Pooter's large shakes. That's our rating system. Just confirmed one of our favorite character actors, Javier Botet, who has been the crooked little guy in Conjuring and the main girl in
Mama.
She was Mama. He was Mama. He was what's that fucking other Crimson Peak?
Yeah, he was also the creepy guy in Witching and Bitching.
In Witching and Bitching, yeah, really awesome guy with something wrong with him. He's all twisted up and shit.
Marfan syndrome.
Marfan syndrome. I bet he needs to drink some of those large shakes. Cures Marfan syndrome. He's set to play the homeless leper, a character from the books that didn't appear in the miniseries.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're going super in-depth to the book.
I'm really excited about that.
If you like, you know, the whole anti-gay, the gay characters getting thrown off the bridge and shit like that, that was not in the miniseries at all. There's so much shit that's not in the miniseries that was in the book. And this was looking to more closely follow the book and be darker than the first adaptation. They're going dark places with it. They're making it a lot more intense and hardcore.
You know, we've said this before, but like the original It movie miniseries has nostalgia value to it.
Yeah.
But it's not that good.
If it wasn't for Tim Curry, no one would ever talk about it.
Yeah.
It'd be a fucking Tommy Knockers.
Yeah.
You know? That's all. That's Tim Curry just killed it. That's why.
Yeah.
And, you know, in the book, he rips the fucking little kid's arm off and shit.
Yeah.
And they're going to go there with this kind of shit.
They should.
It's going to be awesome.
Goddamn time.
They're going to have a lot more character backstory and the 29 Newbolt Street house. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited for this more than ever. And we'll be seeing it opening night for sure. It's going to come out to theaters too.
Nice.
So it's a big budget and everything.
Yeah. I'm excited about that.
Hell yeah. It.
So, I've been following the Friday the 13th remake / reboot / blah blah blah, whatever the fuck you want to call it.
Yeah.
This might be some good news.
Yeah?
Victor Miller, who wrote the original Friday the 13th script, has filed a suit against the producers of the most recent remake / reboot / prequel / whatever, claiming that he owns the rights to the franchise and is entitled to control over its future and doesn't want this movie to be made. The defendants have said that because he was writing for hire, he doesn't have the rights to it, but it's up in the air right now, and there's a chance that he could win the case and shut this movie down.
Well, I mean, I hate remakes and shit, but also I don't want to take money out of people's family. You know what I mean? That kind of thing, you know? Yeah. But it would be a moneymaker, but fuck you, remakes.
Right.
I hope he wins.
So this could at least delay production of it until 2018, if not halt it completely.
Yeah, because if they're going to go to court, they're going to have money wrapped up in that.
Yeah.
It's going to be over budget. They might just throw in the towel on it.
Victor Miller may be our savior.
Yeah. He's the next Doug Jones.
That's right.
Ugh, I gotta clear my fucking throat. All this mucus and shit. Phlegm. My gorge is all swollen.
Your gorge? Your taint?
In a recent interview, horror icon Doug Bradley revealed that the original plan for Hellraiser 3 did not even include Pinhead. It was not the movie that we got. It was actually set to take place in ancient Egypt, and the Great Pyramid was the first lament configuration. They were building it to raise the Grand Pharaoh, who was supposed to be the first Cenobite. Sounds pretty awesome, but the studio didn't back it because of the marketability of Pinhead as a character. Okay. By that time, Pinhead was already, getting to be a Freddy, a Jason, that kind of thing.
Because Hellraiser was originally supposed to be about the woman.
Yeah, originally, yeah. And then when Clive Barker is going for number 3 to be Ancient Egypt, they're like, no, we need Pinhead. That's who's on our lunchboxes.
Right. He's the guy. He's the action figure.
Yeah. Well, now since Doug Bradley's kind of taken off of the Hellraiser, he hasn't been involved with it, I would like to see him make this now. He could make it still.
Yeah.
And it would have a following if it's actually Clive Barker, and it'd be a lot better than Revelations.
Yeah.
So, I wish we could have got it. I like Hellraiser 3, though. It's not that bad. It's good.
An entertaining movie.
Yeah, it is. It's not Hellraiser 1 and 2, but it's still good. But I would like to see this ancient Egypt fucking Pharaoh plot. I'd like to see where that went. So hopefully they can make it. But it's so late that most likely we're never going to see it.
They would have to cast Steve Martin to be the Pharaoh in that movie.
King Tut.
He's an Egyptian.
That would be horrible.
In all the right ways.
Yeah. He comes back as a Cenobite.
With an arrow through his head.
They're all tortured, so he's got the arrow through his head.
Bloody white suit and a fucking banjo. And every time he plucks the banjo, it cuts his fingers.
When he plucks the banjo, the strings snap and go across the ring and... the ring?
We're calling a match here.
Go across the room and wrap up on people and cut them up and pull them in like hooks.
Steve Martin Cenobite.
I'm not thinking clearly. I don't feel good. Yeah, Steve Martin's Cenobite. What else you got?
Screen Daily has reported that Dario Argento, who produced the original film, is putting together a complete remaster of George Romero's Dawn of the Dead, and will be working with Goblin, the film score composers, to oversee the audio remaster too. and cutscenes are going to be added back to the movie to give it a 115-minute runtime. It's going to make the rounds at film festivals before seeing home video release, and they're looking about maybe giving it a small theatrical release also.
I got mixed feelings on when they do shit like this. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's cool. Sometimes there's a reason why like shit is left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah.
You know, if you were to see it like director's cuts of some movies, the first time you saw it, it would drag a little bit. Right. It's only for the hardcore fans.
Yeah.
So.
Well, if Argento's doing it though, I bet it's gore that was cut out.
Yeah,
you know,
probably
because awesome. he's like the grandfather of gore hounds.
Yeah, and all the fucking censorship in Europe back in the day, that's probably what was cut out. Yeah. So that's a good point. So maybe it would be something to look forward to.
And it kind of goes back to something that I was saying. I think it was the last episode, or maybe the episode before that, where instead of remaking movies, why not digitally remaster movies without the George Lucas statement?
Yeah, without adding some CGI and shit,
and adding or exposing that movie to a new audience who may not have seen it before.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Well, looking forward to it. What else? Anything else about that?
Nope.
I got one more thing this week. A new sleepaway camp is in the works. The new installment will be a direct sequel to the first. So
it's going to pick up right with the dick.
Right with the dick, and then it's going to pick up right there. So, in which Angela has been in a sanitarium since the events of the original film. Upon her escape, she returns to Camp Arawak. They're looking to have Felissa Rose reprise her role if all goes according to plan. Production has not begun yet, but they're looking to start in 2017.
Wow.
With I believe I think it's the writer of the original or producer, someone involved in the original is behind this. So
okay.
Hopefully it's cool, because the rest of the Sleepaway Camp sequels are horrible.
Yeah, awful. The first one was great.
Laughably bad.
Yeah. And then the rest of it was just a fucking cheap cash grab.
Yep.
So that's cool. It deserves a good sequel.
It does.
As long as it's just not 90 minutes of...
That might be better than the other sequels, though.
It's true, yeah. Just like the breeze picks up and the dick shifts a little bit.
A small tranny child going... What the fuck?
It doesn't even have a number. It's like Sleepaway Camp Dick. My last piece of news applies directly to something that we're doing. Universal has reported that they are working with Eli Roth to create a terror tram attraction for this year's Halloween Horror Nights. According to the press release, the attraction will expose guests to the fabled legacy of serial killer clown Hollywood Harry, the story of a former jovial celebrity clown turned depraved murderer, and the minefield of carnage he left behind.
So it's going to be like a ride?
So what the terror tram is, and this was actually my favorite attraction last year when I went, is they take you on the tram, and they take you to the bottom of the hill that the Psycho house is on. And that takes you through some stuff. And then you get off the tram and you go back up the hill, and the whole thing is this giant long format haunted house.
Oh, cool.
It's outdoors and indoors, and it like you can like go off to the side and walk into the Psycho house and take pictures and shit. Last year it was the Purge. Okay. So you were basically just walking through the Purge, and there were people all like dressed up like the Purgers, wrecking shit, and stuff was on fire, and there's a plane crash set up where people were killing survivors of a plane crash and all kinds of shit. So this year they're turning it into a giant circus, because apparently in this press release they talk about how this guy started a clown cult. So there's going to be all kinds of
stealing the plot stitches.
Fucking Eli Roth. His last, because I bet this is going to tie into his clown movie that he just released.
Yeah, I like clown.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't seen it?
Yeah. But he stole that from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, so he may as well rip off Stitches too.
That's cool though.
It's cool, a cool long format experience that you can go through and kind of slow down and look at stuff, as opposed to just being rushed through the indoor ones. So I think that'll be fun. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to going to Halloween Horror Nights for my first time.
Yeah.
Day 1 of the bachelor party.
Yep.
Halloween Horror Nights. Day 2, Halloween Horror Booze.
Halloween Horror Nights.
Halloween Horror Nights. It'll be day 2. Yeah.
Once again, if you're a hooker and you want to die, email us at postmortemshow@gmail.com.
That's my creepy sigh or whatever you call it.
That got dark.
All right, so we'll be back after a quick word from our sponsors with some good movies and some bad movies. And Dom's got a stinker this week.
Big old Chinese turd.
Chinese turd.
Chinese turd.
Wow. Hello, Maine.
Oh, gross.
We'll be back.
Hi, thanks for listening to the Postmortem Podcast. If you want to support us, go to our website at www.postmortemshow.com and click the Amazon link.
By clicking on the Amazon banner, Amazon will give a small percentage of the purchase price of your item back to the Postmortem Podcast at no additional cost to you. That's right. Doesn't cost you any money, we get money. You want us to keep doing this? You want more Doug Jones talk? You want more dick and fart talk? I don't care. We're going to do it.
Fund our filthy, filthy habits.
Yes, and they are many and they are fast.
And most of them aren't legal.
Yes. Click the banner. Just do it.
Come on, don't be a dick. Give us money.
It's time for the good movie. And the bad movie.
We're back with the good movie and the bad movie. You got a stinker, so why don't you fire it off first?
Fire off this turd. Get the submarine out of the ports. So,
Making a bucket of snakes, Thomas.
bucket of Chinese snakes.
Lo mein.
Bucket of lo mein.
Brown lo mein.
Ugh. So my movie is called Singular K, spelled C-A-Y. And apparently K means puzzle in Chinese.
Oh, so it is actually a Chinese
Yeah, it's actually a Chinese movie.
Oh, I thought you were just being extremely racist.
No. It's a Chinese movie.
Like, it's a lower than a turd. It's a Chinese turd.
Chinese turd. Turd that's good at math.
It's a turd that built the railroads.
And a big old wall.
God damn it.
Yeah, it's directed by a guy named Yao Wu Zhao. And it's listed as a horror movie, but fuck, man, I don't know. It's just bad. So the story is that this guy is a scientist, and he's developing a cure. Never says what he's developing a cure to, he's just developing a cure.
Yeah.
And someone's trying to extort the cure out of him.
It's a cure for this movie.
Yeah, it's a cure for fucking pain, because it makes you die. So he's developing this cure, and someone's trying to extort it out of him. Like, they're like, we're going to give you money, and you're going to give us the cure, or you're going to die, or something. He's getting these threatening phone calls. And then, out of nowhere, he finds out that his long-lost uncle dies, and he has inherited this mansion. And so him and his wife and his young child daughter and his overbearing mother all move into this house together, and then there's ghosts. And
Ghosts want the cure?
I guess maybe they're joining the cure, because they all kind of look like
all
ghosts
goth
anyway.
mode.
Yeah. It's like, it's the ghost of his aunt, but all she does is stand in this room and scream. And then his daughter disappears, and has nothing to do with the cure. They're just like, we want money.
Did you watch subtitles or dub?
Subtitles.
Okay. So at least you know if the acting is good or not.
The acting is shit. The acting is soap opera bad, and you can tell that it's really bad because you can't understand what they're saying, and it's still wooden as fuck.
Yeah. With the bad dub, sometimes you cannot tell if it's the actor's fault or if it's the dub's fault. But with subtitles, you can tell if they're a good actor.
Yeah, this acting is absolute shit. So yeah, his daughter gets kidnapped, and then they're like, we want some money. And so they bring them the money, and then they don't get their daughter back. And then a whole bunch of random ass shit happens, and then it's like, I'm going to spoil this movie because fuck this movie. They're like...
Not even giving you guys an opportunity to decide for yourself.
I'm doing you a fucking favor. Like, a bunch of random ass shit happens. They hire a detective. The detective, like, finds out some shit that doesn't have anything to do with anything. And then, all of a sudden, the guy's in the hospital, and the doctor says you have multiple personality disorder and you need to go to a mental hospital for a year. And his daughter is back all of a sudden. And then he goes to the mental hospital for a year, and then he comes out, and as soon as he walks out into the street, he gets hit by a car, and the movie's over. It's the most
what the fuck?
amateur bullshit filmmaking I have ever seen come out of another country.
Wow.
Yeah, in terms of technical filmmaking, Melancholy Durango was a better technically made film than this.
Oh god.
It was bad. The editing was bad. Like they tried to do the thing where like everything slows down every once in a while, but they were using such shitty film stock that everything just got pixelated and bad looking.
China makes movies too. It's not like China is never made a movie or something. Like, if Baskin would have sucked and it's the first Turkish horror movie ever, I would have given it more leadway. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But if it was bad, I would have given it more leadway because it's the first horror movie ever to come out of fucking turkey.
China's made some great fucking movies.
When Kenya makes a horror movie, I'm going to give it some leadway.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, for sure. They're not quite sure what they're doing.
Yeah.
China has a long history of horror movies, and I love Chinese horror movies.
Yeah.
And this one is fucking terrible. And they're like, they don't play anything for laughs in this movie. It's totally serious. But there's these scenes where the dude's mom is holding a cat, and they just edit in these sound effects of cats meowing, and the cat's just chilling there with its, and its mouth's not even moving. And it's like more than one cat meowing at the same time.
It's like when the baby's crying, but the baby's obviously not crying.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But it's like this one cat has 4 cat voices, and it doesn't have to move its mouth. It's the ultimate cat ventriloquist. Yeah,
it's like when they edit in that one stock screen.
Yeah, exactly. This movie's it's boring with its randomness. It's 90 minutes long. And it took me 3 days to get through it. And the only reason I forced myself to get through it is I was hoping upon hope that there would be something in the end that tied this entire fucking mess together. And there wasn't.
Wow.
So, yeah. And then, to top everything off, and I'm going to post this on our page.
On Facebook?
Yeah. The art for this movie is a total rip-off of the art from that movie Shrooms. You know how they had the mushrooms growing in front of
I didn't think that movie was any good either.
No.
Shrooms?
Yeah, but you know how the art was the mushrooms growing in front of the moon to make it look like a skull?
Yeah.
This is 2 mushrooms growing in front of the moon and then a little girl in a white dress to make it look like a skull.
Wow.
And there's nothing about mushrooms in this movie or hallucinogens or anything. It's just the director had a bunch of random shit. And there's
he was the only one hallucinating, the director.
There's this subplot where the doctor's wife's brother is into the mob for some money, and while he's playing pool at a pool hall with one of the mobster guys, they're playing the song Supermassive Black Hole by Muse, except it's not Muse playing it. It's like a weird Chinese version of it, and they're singing in English, and they're singing the English lyrics, but it sounds really English. And the music's all lifeless and soulless, and there's nothing cool elements.
That's probably the
it.
best part of the movie.
Yeah, probably. Actually, no, the brother's hair was the best part of the movie because it was like Rat Tail Sting's 1980 hair, but with zigzag lines shaved into the side.
That's pretty sweet.
That was the best part of the movie.
That is a good look.
Yeah, he had that look down. So this whole movie...
It's a manly look. You got to be a man to pull that off.
You got to have balls.
You got to have balls.
In your mouth.
No taint at all. All balls.
Zero
pull off
taint.
the fucking rat tail flat top with shaved lines. Speaking of shaved lines in the hair, you're one from experience.
Yeah.
With your childhood picture.
Oh, fucking A, man.
I'm going to post that picture on Postmortem. I'm going to post Dom's childhood picture. He's just a nice young man. What happened?
I don't know, man. I did move to San Francisco for a few years and did a
Maybe that's what we'll do
drugs.
for this art. We'll put our 2 childhood pictures superimposed over giant fat bodies. Our childhood heads.
Yeah, we got to give the Biff head a little bit of a
Yeah, we
rest.
need a super fat dog too with us.
That's awesome.
All right, what's this?
So this movie's a fucking mess. It can't decide if it wants to be a crime drama, a psychological thriller, or a haunted house movie. It's just random shit thrown together with no point. It's bullshit. Fuck it in the neck. 0 out of 10.
0 out of 10. Dude,
Yeah.
you gotta give it at least a 0.5 for the dude's hair.
That's what kept it out of the negative.
Oh, wow. All right.
Harry Pooter's large shakes.
Harry Pooter's large shakes. Get them while they're still warm.
Jiggle, jiggle. Harry Pooter's large shakes will make you make that noise.
Yes, they will.
Just slide on out of you.
My Bad Movie is a 2014 sci-fi thriller horror-ish. It's on the border, the peripheral of horror. This is more like a sci-fi, but it kind of said sci-fi horror thriller, so I give it a chance. And there are some pretty scary elements to this if it was actually real. But I'll get into that. So 2014, written and directed by Khalil Sullins in his first movie he's ever made or wrote. It's called Listening. Have you seen this on Netflix?
I have not.
It's got a picture of a guy's head with a bunch of shit hooked up to it.
Okay.
On the art. Stars Thomas Strobel,
Strudel.
RDR, and
How's that spelled?
AHR.
Okay.
RDR.
RDR. Like a pirate rapper.
Casting against type. He's not a pirate in this movie. And the smoking hot Amber Marie Bollinger.
Okay.
Pretty hot in this. Again, it's called Listening. True of broke college student scientists work to develop technology that allows people to communicate telepathically. But when they actually figure it out, they get more than they bargained for. Interesting premise. Brings up a lot of questions if this was real.
Oh, okay. I have seen this. I haven't seen the movie, but I've seen it on Netflix.
Yeah.
I remember that kind of plot.
Yeah, it's streaming now on Netflix. If you guys are intrigued by my bad review and you want to check it out, then go for it. It's not terrible, though. So, characters are unlikable. That's one thing off the get-go. You got to have at least one likable character. There's no likable character in this movie. Everyone is a pile of shit.
All right.
The main character, played by Stroppel, has a wife and kids he pays no attention to because he's too big into his research. The hottie scientist wants to fuck him and keep it a secret, even though he has a family. So when their minds are hooked up to each other, she's saying, like, I won't tell. And sending him images of them fucking and stuff.
Okay.
It's
like in Demolition Man, when they would have virtual reality sex.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. So they're developing this. The government is also developing it with the goal of mind control. Instead of being able to read people's thoughts, they want to implant thoughts and make people do things. They're doing experiments to where they're like, shoot the dog. Shoot the dog. They're typing it in a computer. The guy's got this gun with the dog. You know, he's feeding the dog. It's his dog. You know, he's petting it. So shoot the dog. And the guy's shaking, sweating, and eventually he just kills himself because he doesn't want to kill the dog.
MK Ultra shit. That's cool.
Yeah, and then they have another one where it's like, you need to kill your sister. Kill your sister. You have to kill your sister. They're just typing this on the computer into her brain. Because typing in the computer, sending it to her brain, and she does it, so like, figuring it out. But they're not as good as these scientists that have no budget and are working with stolen equipment, are able to come up with better technology and a quicker way to do this than the government with all their seemingly endless funds.
Right.
That is the first problem.
Okay, and clearly the government doesn't have alien technology in this.
No alien technology, But how would the government not be able to do it when they can do it? And they're stealing stuff from their university and doing shit in his basement.
Right.
I know people are brilliant. There's certain people that are brilliant that break through shit. Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, people like that, you know?
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with technology and you need money, how could the government not come up with it when these three assholes could?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It doesn't make... That's what kind of... I started to lose it at that point. Shit ends up hitting the fan when the school finds out about the stolen equipment and everything is confiscated. They're arrested, as well as the wife leaves the main character.
Oh. So now he can fuck the hottie scientist.
Yeah, no, he's still... there's a huge unlikely twist that is extremely far-fetched, but I won't spoil it. But it's fucking ridiculous.
Okay.
When that happened, instantly, that's what... At first, I was thinking, oh, this movie could be good. It could be good. As it progressed, there was several key moments where I went, nope. Nope. Big pile of nope. Hearty fucking bowl of nope right there.
Quaker nopes.
Yeah, Quaker nopes. Seriously. Fucking ridiculous, you know?
It's the wrong thing to do.
I like films about telepathy and time travel and things like that. I was hoping it was going to be more like Flatliners, and it had some potential. It kind of came off a little Flatliners-ish at first, but it lost me about halfway through. It's worth a watch if you're bored or interested in telepathy or sci-fi horror. Streaming now on Netflix, so you won't have to drop some cash on it unless you don't have a subscription. So
right.
If you want to watch it, you can. IMDb gives it a 5.6. I think that's high. I'll give it a straight 5, right down the middle.
Okay.
5 of the Harry Pooters lard shakes. So it wasn't terrible, but it could have been so much more.
Yeah.
5 is generous too, by the way.
Yeah.
Some of the shit, like I should have deducted 2 points every time a couple of these things happened.
Okay.
We should have been down at like the 3 territory, but she was pretty hot.
Okay.
And then
gives
I
us
like
something to work with.
and I like the concept of this, and it's the guy's first movie, and he wrote and directed it. So like the budget got increasingly more and more towards the end too.
Huh. Does it deliver the goods with some nudity?
I think there's like white t-shirt with no bra.
Oh, okay.
That's like maybe one nipple.
Okay, not even side boob.
No, not.
Wow.
Maybe some side boob. I don't know, but yeah, it doesn't deliver the nudity. There is some violence, but it's not super violent. So straight
Sounds
5,
like
right down the middle.
Yeah, sounds like something I'll pass on.
Yep.
My lard shake sends all the boys from the yard.
Dom's large shake brings all the boys to the yard because it's better than yours.
Damn right.
He could teach you, but he'd have to charge.
That's right. $9.99 a month.
For only $9.99.
About $3.50.
All right, let's cleanse the palate with some good movies.
My good movie is also streaming on Netflix right now, and it was one that I passed on a couple times, but then I read a review of it that was pretty favorable, and was like, all right, cool, I'll check this out. It seems like it might be all right, because it's kind of a psychological thriller kind of thing. And
yeah.
I was in the mood for it. It's called The Invitation.
I have seen this as well.
Yeah, it's a 2015 movie. Did you watch it?
I have seen about 80% of it.
Okay.
I fell asleep. So I watched it. I fell asleep. Then I started it back from a certain point and watched the end. Mm-hmm. So I know what happens and everything.
Yeah, it's real slow.
It's real fucking dragging.
Yeah, I liked the slowness of it, but I don't know. It's the story is a guy named Will and his new girlfriend Kira are invited to a dinner party by his ex-wife and her new husband, and there's some old friends there. And the reunion of old friends goes south when Will starts to suspect that his ex and her husband have joined a cult and have sinister intention. So yeah, it's a real slow burn.
Yeah, it takes a while to even get to the point that there's something off.
Yeah,
the girl that is there, remember, just shows her bush.
Yeah,
remember she's like opening the door, changing, and he's looking, and she's like, "Hey." Yeah. Here's my bush. Look at it.
Yeah.
It's bushy.
Yeah. it's 70s. I thought it gave you just enough information to keep you hooked in. Like, there was always just a little, like, something is off. Something is off. Something is off.
I like that Chinese girl. I thought she was the best one.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know if she's Chinese. Maybe I'm just thinking Chinese because your other movie.
Right.
Asian?
She was
Oriental? That's inappropriate.
Yeah. Asian is the proper word.
Yeah. No, she had a good attitude. Like, she was funny. Like, she was my favorite character.
I got hooked into the movie the minute the ex-wife's new husband locked the door. As soon as he started lock the door and Will made an issue about it, I was like, okay, this is interesting.
And the other guy, that, like, weird guy?
Yeah, the guy that they didn't know showed up.
What's his name? Fuck. I wish I would have written it down. I forgot you were going to review this fucker. But he's a good character actor.
Yeah, he was very good.
I'll look it up while you're continuing.
I thought all of the acting was pretty good, though some of the characters weren't very well developed. They weren't bad or annoying. It just kind of felt like some of them were there. Like the two gay dudes, they were just kind of like there. And the friend who left because she wasn't comfortable with the situation.
I thought the acting was actually pretty good. Yeah, it's just not enough action for me.
I think where it really shines, though, is the direction and cinematography. Like, there is a constant sense of looming dread punctuated by occasional bits of anxiety, and all of that felt really real. You know, when it's part of the story is that Will and his wife had a kid who died, and that's what drove them apart in their marriage. And Will goes back to the house, and he starts having these memories of his son, and you'll see, like, flashes of his son walking through the next room and all that. Yeah. And whenever things
I didn't understand that at first, and then I started to get it,
Yeah, whenever things like that would happen and he'd start getting anxious, the camera would start blurring around the lens.
Yeah.
And
that was cool.
So that made it feel like it was a very good anxiety setting.
Not to interrupt, but John Carroll Lynch is the name of the character actor that I was talking about. And he's in Shutter Island, Gran Torino, Zodiac. He's in a whole bunch of shit. He's got 105 credits on it.
Yeah, great character.
He's got the horseshoe hair and kind of a plain face.
Plays crazy really well.
Yes.
I thought the score of this movie was
and he was Eastman on Walking Dead.
Yeah. I thought the score of this movie was excellent. There was a lot of droning and repetitive sounds that added to the feeling that shit was happening below the surface that you can't really see. And in the final act where the shit really hits the fan, the violence I thought was very, very good. It was very like quick and brutal and bloody, but it didn't look fake at all. You know, it wasn't like they were trying to go for exploitation. They were trying to go for a very realistic,
like Green Room-ish kind of violence.
Exactly.
Not on that level though, by any means. I should not even compare.
It takes place in one house, and the whole thing is carried by good performances and technical filmmaking. It's limited, no-frill storytelling.
Yeah, it's limited storytelling for sure. It's all one setting, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, they travel to the house, but that's very normal.
And it shows what you can do if you have a low budget but a good cast. And a director with some vision.
Creativity is more important than budget to me, because you get all these big budget movies that are terrible It's because there's no creativity.
Right.
It's all rehashed shit.
Right. I felt that it could have gone to darker places than it did, and that some of the punches were pulled with the premise and the setup. Things could have gotten really fucked up. But the twist at the end I really liked.
Yeah. Don't spoil it because this is brand new. It's on Netflix. You guys can check it out. See if you like it as much as Dom, or if you're kind of on the fence about it like me. What would you give this?
I'm going to give it an 8.3 out of 10 Harry Potter's large shakes.
Wow, 8.3, huh? I'll give it a 6.3.
Okay.
So I wasn't as entertained by it as you were. It didn't grab me, so I had to watch it in 2 sittings. And that's bad for me. You know what I mean? For me to sit through it, it's pretty long, too. Isn't it like an hour 45?
Yeah.
So it's a longer movie for these kind of movies. So it didn't really grab me, and there was not enough action, but the ending did deliver.
Yeah.
And sometimes a good ending.
Like, the ending literally made me point at the screen and go, ha! And that's how I know something's good.
Yeah. I have to rewatch that just to kind of see if I agree with you, or if I'm staying in my camp. I look like this. My John Carroll Lynch face.
Your get off my lawn face.
John Carroll Lynch face. He's like this always. He has no emotion.
Yeah. And then he goes crazy.
Yes. All right, well, that's the bad movie, the good movie, and horror news.
You haven't done your good movie yet.
Fuck. I don't feel good.
Yeah, me either. I understand.
Why do we have to do this today?
Fucking post-mortem, because we didn't do it Wednesday.
I know. God damn it. Yeah, just cough it up. Cough it up.
I will. Dude,
We're not editing any of this
I
shit.
coughed up this giant fucking gray loogie in the shower this morning. It was so satisfying.
I did one earlier to where I coughed up, but my mouth wasn't. It was like one of those ones where you just go, huh, and my mouth wasn't closed, and just this fucking phlegm. It looked like a big ass green loogie just flew out of my mouth onto the tile.
Phlegm rocket.
I hope that's entertaining podcasting.
Yeah.
And talk about our phlegm and me not know where I am and stumble, but that's nothing new. I got a good movie too. Hopefully it'll make things better.
Yeah.
So 2010 Finnish horror fantasy, written and directed by Jalmari Helander. It's called Rare Exports: A Christmas Tale. You seen this?
I've never even heard of it now.
Dude, it's awesome.
Okay.
It's like a little kid. It's okay. So I'll get into it. It's told from the perspective of a little kid, so everything is grandiose. There's things that like are not plausible and stuff like that, but it's like it's almost like if a little kid had a dream and put it on film.
Okay.
So I really, really like it. You know, taps into your little kid brain. So.
Nice.
It's Christmas Eve in Finland. Santa Claus is unearthed in an archaeological dig. Santa Claus is giant, and he has horns. He's like Krampus, kind of.
Okay.
He's like a demon, and that's Santa Claus. But he's wearing a suit and everything. You can't
Is he
really
Bill
see his face from there. But he's unearthed. He's frozen in ice. Soon after, children start disappearing, leading a boy and his father to capture Santa, and with help of fellow hunters, they look to sell him back to the corporation that sponsored the dig. And when Santa's elves show up, they're determined to free their leader.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, and Santa's elves steal all the heaters and fans from the entire community and start trying to like hook them all up like all tweaker rigged to thaw Santa. The lead child is kind of weird. He wears a helmet and shoulder pads all the time, even when he sleeps and even indoors. I just spilt beer all over myself. God damn it.
Show's a mess. I'm going home.
So Santa is more like Krampus, like I said. The elves are a bunch of naked, dirty old men. So old men that are completely buck-ass naked, and they're all like, kind of like Harvey O'Brotetish, like all like weird looking and shit, and they're all covered with dirt. And that's what the elves are.
Do they have pointy ears or anything? Or
No, they're just naked old
just
men
naked
with
old
long
dudes?
beards. They look like Santa Claus. So, but not fat.
Right.
Real skinny. This would totally be a kid-appropriate movie if it wasn't for all the shriveled old men penises flapping around in the snow.
Oh, they go there.
Oh, they go there. You see full-on old men, tiny, tiny, shriveled little dicks in the snow.
Geriatric dicks.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this movie, but it was really creepy for some reason.
Because of naked old men?
Because it's told from the... And these naked old men are in front of children and stuff in this movie.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I don't know if it's CGI. They're CGIing old men. You don't really get good looks at the ween. You know?
Yeah.
The ween is like...
They
They might
wear-
actually be wearing something,
Like
you know?
thongs or something?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Still, an old man in a thong in front of a little kid? That's, I mean, maybe,
And acting all creepy, trying to kill him.
Finland's different, but...
The CGI on part is way over the top, but intentionally so.
Okay.
Because it's this grandiose kid's imagination kind of thing. There's a part where a kid is hanging off of a net, being pulled by a helicopter, like just hanging by one hand, like smiling, like and going all crazy in the fucking storm, just holding on by one hand and like not even worried about it. You know, it could definitely be a Christmas classic like Gremlins. I just wish they used more shadow to hide the tiny frozen Finadongs.
Finadongs.
So I could watch it with the kids. Because I'd show my kids this movie if there wasn't for all the penis.
Right. Because
it's like a kid's movie, but just with a lot of old shriveled dicks.
Should show it to David.
Yeah, well, he'll like it. He likes old shriveled dicks.
Right.
IMDb gives it a 6.7. I would give it an 8.3. Harry Pooter's Large Shakes.
Wow. And what's this movie called again?
It's called Rare Exports, A Christmas Tale.
Okay. I want to check this out. Is it on Netflix? Or
No,
Amazon?
no, I can actually let you borrow it. I have it. The director had made a short of the same title they adapted this from, and the only other movie he's ever made is about Samuel L. Jackson being the president, trapped in the snow when his plane crashes in Finland. He's the American president, but he crashes in Finland. And the same kid from this movie is the lead that has to save him.
And is it actually Samuel L. Jackson?
Yeah.
And he's playing Samuel L. Jackson?
No, he's playing the president.
Oh, okay.
But it's Samuel L. Jackson.
Right.
I really hope he makes another horror movie since he hasn't done anything since 2010, except for, that's when this movie came out, except for that movie called Big Game with Samuel L. Jackson in 2014. So he's only made 2 other movies.
Wow.
Or only 2 movies total. But I hope he makes another horror movie because he got creepy down, and this is a fucking good movie. Nice. You gotta watch it. You'll like it a lot.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, so. 8.3. That's the same thing you gave The Invitation.
Yeah.
You watch this movie, and then you think about The Invitation, and then you tell me which one's better. Because I think your 8.3 is a little high there, fella.
Come back with a full report on your desk by Wednesday.
Yeah. I want pictures of Spider-Man on my desk by Wednesday. Parker. God damn it.
J.D. Jonah, David.
Okay, can I say it now? We've had the bad movie.
Yeah.
And we've had the good movie.
Yeah.
And now we've actually had both.
Yeah. Now we've got some fatties coming.
We're going to take a little break, like a real little break. Not even just saying we're going to break, but take a little mental, physical break.
We're going to take a walk around the block.
I'm going to pound half a bottle of NyQuil before you give us the top 5 fat people. That'll make for an interesting post-mortem.
Things are swirling.
All right, we'll be back with the top 5 fat people in horror after this.
Hi, thanks for listening to Postmortem. We need money.
Yeah, we have no advertising budget. We don't want your money. We want you to share this shit. Tell a friend. Tell an enemy. It doesn't matter.
Tell your grandma.
Tell your grandmother. Tell your dog. If he's like my dog, he might be interested.
Yeah, that's right. We talk a lot about dogs on this show.
I think we do. We're a horror/pet podcast. God damn it. So spread the shit around. If you guys got a chance, give us a rating on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube. Leave us a review. Hopefully it's 5 stars. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you want more of. And share this fucker so we can get more ear holes and get that good advertising money. So we can use it.
I need drugs.
Tom needs drugs. He needs to refill his prescription. These are legal, prescribed drugs.
That's right. I got a prescription.
And I need crack. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for listening. We appreciate it. We appreciate all your emails. And hopefully next week we'll have another real sponsor. We'll be re-recording these old messages.
That sponsor could be you.
That sponsor could be you, so send us your shit. We're easy.
Fucking Screenbox.
Fuck you, Screenbox.
Fuck you in the face.
Yeah, or Shudder. I can't remember which one it was. Either one.
Fuck them both.
Fuck you.
Dicks.
Anyways, thanks for listening to Postmortem. And we're back with the top 5 fat people. The fattest. Top 5 fatties in horror.
Chasing chubbies.
Chubby chasers. I don't know what that term means. I don't have any experience with it.
Never once. Not even once.
You're listening to the Big Beautiful Postmortem Podcast. We're coming back with the top 5 chubbies.
The BBWs.
The BBWs or BBMs.
That's right.
Or BBCs.
Big Biff cock.
That's what it stands for. Post-mortem. God damn it.
We almost went an episode.
All right. Why don't you start us off with your number 5?
All right, my number 5. It's a fatty that's near and dear to my heart. Because this is actually the first Friday the 13th scene I ever saw.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it was on the USA Network when they were doing one of their Friday the 13th marathons.
Up all night.
I don't think it was up all night.
I can't even make the voice because my throat's all fucked up.
Yeah, and you're not on heroin, you don't have giant tits.
One of those things are true. I'm not on heroin.
My number 5 is Joey from Friday the 13th, A New Beginning.
That's my number 5 as well.
Yeah, you know, I always kind of felt sorry for Joey because, like, he wanted to be useful and helpful, but he's kind of an idiot.
I never felt sorry for Joey. I was so happy when he died, and I was a little ass kid when I saw this too.
Vic was your hero.
What you doing, Vic? Hi, Vic. What you doing, Vic?
You want
Hey,
some
Vic,
chocolate?
you want some of my chocolate? I actually have a clip for this one. A clip!
Hi, Beck. Get lost. Come on, don't be like that. I need to help you with the wood today. Anyway, I got 2 chocolate bars, see? Tell the girls. You know, Vic, before I came here, I never had anything to do
Look at his
with
80s chain.
chain.
He's got a Jufro and an 80s chain and chocolate running down his face.
But here it's different. I can help others and do a lot of things. You know something? I really love it here. You know,
I like Vic's spiked armband.
Yeah, he's got a little kid's infant-sized studded belt on his arm.
Leave me alone!
I kind of feel a little bit bad for Joey in this scene too. It has no reference to the rest of the movie though. That's why.
Yeah.
Here, Vic, want a bite? Here.
He's just trying to make friends.
Put it over here. And later on, when you're hungry, you can have it.
He chopped the chocolate in half.
But if that's the way you feel, forget it, Vic. Just forget it. But I think you're really out of line.
Man.
Yeah. Don't you call me out of line, Joey?
I think Joey was out of line there. He was just trying to set boundaries.
Just forget it, Vic. That's the way you feel. Just forget it. You're really out of line. He just chops him in half with an axe.
Right in the fucking back. Yeah, that was the first Friday the 13th scene I ever saw. I must have been maybe 8, maybe 9. And they had a marathon going on TV. And I snuck downstairs to watch it because my friend told me about it. And that was the first thing that I turned on was Vic chopping wood. And fucking put the axe in Joey's back, and that just burned into my brain.
Yeah.
As soon as you said fat people, I was like, Joey.
Yeah, me too. That's one of the first names. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we were young and that kind of shit just sticks with you, huh?
Yeah.
Number 4.
My number 4 is Pearl from Blade. The big fat
computer
hacker vampire thing.
I felt bad for that thing when it got burnt.
Yeah, Pearl got fucked up.
I like Pearl.
Yeah, I want to know how a vampire gets that fat. Just
IVs of
drinking blood constantly.
He's
not going anywhere.
Been drinking Harry Pooter's lard shakes instead of blood.
That's just a lard pyre. Maybe I don't know if Pearl is a guy or a girl. Like because
I think it's a guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's like a gay fat guy.
Yeah, she's got a high pitched voice. It's got a high pitched voice. I don't know. Maybe when you're like you hit a point where you just don't have a gender anymore. When you're
it's a hermaphropile. They should have named that character Herman.
Hermaphropile.
Just Herman, not Pearl. Herman.
Pat.
Fuck. Pat would. I never bring up Pat again on the postmortem show.
Never again. Banned. Stamped down.
First mention, last mention.
Yeah. Maybe Pearl was that obese when it got turned into a vampire.
Maybe I don't know.
Like some.
You think they have good metabolism?
Yeah. Well, and in Blade,
it's all liquid diet.
Yeah, some of them are born vampires. So,
That's true.
you know, maybe Pearl was born vampire.
I think Pearl's more of like a creature thing. You know how there's some things like in Fright Night, there's like other things, like in Fright Night 2, the guy who eats the moth and shit.
Yeah.
Weird creatures.
And in Blade, they do establish that things go wrong sometimes when people turn into vampires.
Like the weird vampires that are like the Strain.
Yeah. Or the, in the first one even, there was the dude who just kind of goes crazy. Like the turning process snaps his mind and they have to put him down in the basement. He was the scientist that was in love with the chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that it was just a botched turning, and but they're like, oh, this fucking looks like Mojo from the X-Men comics. Like this fucking thing is good at computers, so we're gonna have it be our curator and just feed it IVs of blood and KFC.
Kentucky Fried Chicken and blood in a blender.
Give it to Hank Skinny.
Just the whole fucking tub of lard with blood. Ugh, I'm making myself sick right now. That's a pretty deep pull. That's not even on my honorable mentions.
Wow.
I couldn't even think of that. But I got a deeper pull for you.
Okay.
Does the name Vasti Moses ring a bell? Vasti Moses. I had to do deep research to get that character's name and a backstory.
No?
You know a little movie called Nightbreed?
Yeah?
It's only seen once. When the city's burning down and everything's going crazy in Midian, that giant chicken with a face in the center of its stomach.
Oh!
It looks like a turkey kind of.
Yeah.
It's so fat and repulsive, and it's got like an old powdered wig on.
Yeah.
And its head is where the belly button should be, and it's all. You only see it for a little bit, but that always gave me a fucking impression. That little fucking. It looks like a turkey you get from the grocery store that's already all feathered and everything like that. A frozen turkey with a guy with a powdered wig face where like a belly button should be. And it's all. I found
fucked up.
That's a deep pull, huh?
Yeah, that's a real deep pull.
That came right to my mind right as soon as we came up with this concept. And that character, I had to do some research to figure out what the name was. I was going to say Fat Turkey Guy from Nightbreed, and people were like, what the fuck? But Vasti Moses, I guess they made some comic books about Nightbreed.
Yeah,
the whole
they did,
backstory for that character.
Huh.
I couldn't find out what the story was, but it showed animated like drawings of that fucking chicken guy or turkey guy, whatever the fuck you want to call him. And it said his name was Vasti Moses.
Interesting. Good to know.
Deep pull. Huh?
Yeah, big time.
I wish I had the sound clip for that.
You're doing a pretty good job of it.
All right, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Mayor Belgoody from The Toxic Avenger.
Oh, that's a good one.
That guy's fucking disgusting.
It's another deep pull. I don't even have that on my honorable mentions.
Yeah, he's he's a big fat. I wanted to use the dude that he's not actually Michael Hers, but they said he was Michael Hers in all the Troma movies. He was Lardass in Toxic Avenger 4.
Yeah,
but he had so many good parts that like he kind of became like my zero fat guy.
Yeah, he's on my honorable mentions for that reason too, because I have him on my top 5 decapitations when the escalator.
Right,
meets
it's
him.
the same guy.
Yeah. His name is Michael Fleshiker.
Yeah, but he's such the quintessential fat guy that like he has to be the zero. But Mayor Belgoody, I never saw that guy in any other Troma movies, but he was this big, fat, fucking disgusting, corrupt-ass mayor. No. And at the end of the movie, he gets his guts ripped out.
Yeah. His name's Joe Fleshiker, not Michael. Actually, a sad note, 3 months ago in May, he passed away.
Yeah, I read about that, yeah.
Yeah, so R.I.P. Jacob Gelman / mayor / everything else. And he's also in Class of Nukem High Part 2, and he has a really extremely high-pitched voice. He's like Paul Bear.
Yeah, for sure. Great fat character
Great character actor. I love that guy.
He actually wasn't the mayor in Toxic Avenger, though. It was a different guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was gonna put him on my list, the Fleshiker guy. But he didn't get involved in Troma until I believe it was Troma's War, which came out after Toxic Avenger.
Oh wow, okay. I thought it was the same guy.
No, it's a different guy who's never been in any other movies. But
too many concussions.
Yeah. he was a big disgusting fucker, and they called him Mayor Grody in the cartoon. And they brought him back for whatever reason, even though he got gutted in the movie. But
yeah.
I love when he gets his guts ripped out and he's trying to put him back in.
Yeah.
And he's all panicked.
All right, my number 3 is Otho from Beetlejuice.
Nice.
Meridian, seafoam green, hydrochromic oxide. I used to do readings in the past, but there's no money in it. Used to communicate with the dead. There's just simply no money in it. Otho is a classic douchebag.
Big time.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't even know how to change a tire.
Yeah. Useless but self-important.
You know, coming up with this list, doing a little research, that came up, and I said, God damn it, I didn't put him on my douchebags list. When we did the top 5 douchebags.
Yeah, he'd be up there.
He wasn't even in my honorable mentions.
Yeah.
Otho is a fucking douchebag.
Yeah, terrible.
But another sad note, just like we said about Fleshiker, Otho passed away a couple years ago.
Really?
Cool thing about it, at his funeral, they played the Deo song.
Nice.
They played it as you know, so he had a good sense of humor. And
He was in
stuff,
a
and lot of
couple
people
other
really
Timbers
listened to
movies,
him.
wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I can't remember his name. I should have took that down, but
I think he was in Ed Wood.
he passed away, and they played the Deo.
Nice.
They did the fucking dance.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But Otho, you were a piece of shit in the movie, but not in real life, so R.I.P. All right.
Number 2. My number 2 is a tie, but from the same movie. Bobo and Lil Devil from Nothing But Trouble.
It's not a horror movie, or they would have been on my list for sure.
It's a horror comedy.
It is kind of...
Yeah, it's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre of comedies.
It is Texas Chainsaw Massacre-ish, but comedy. But Chevy Chase would never be in a horror movie. Fuck you, Chevy Chase.
You know, it's Dan Aykroyd and John Candy. And Dan Aykroyd is actually Bobo, and then some other character actor is Lil Devil.
Yeah.
But they're the two, like, overweight, fat, retarded blacksmiths in diapers.
And dirty as fuck. Big babies.
Yeah.
They're big babies.
Yeah,
Dirty babies in a junkyard.
Live in a junkyard, and they won't be let inside because they eat and shit too much.
I saw that when I was probably like in first grade.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was called. I watched it like on HBO or something in a hotel room. And I tried to find it for years and years. It took me years to find it.
One of those things that drives you crazy.
Yeah, to where I had to see that movie again. And the nose falling off, you know, when he's in the air and shit.
He's got the hot dog and it looks like a dick. And
yeah, that shit's so... And he's all licking his lips and shit. Oh, God. It's all slimy.
Dan Aykroyd is at his best, I think.
I finally got my hands on it probably when I was like 18 or something.
Nice.
And I got the DVD of it. Fucking love that movie. Nothing But Trouble.
I had the DVD.
It's a good pull. I would have put it on my list, but I didn't even put it on my honorable mentions because I just thought it's not horror enough for me.
I always regarded it as a horror comedy because, you know, it's got the whole, you know, like the boneyard thing going on. Like, it's real fucking morbid.
It is very morbid, yeah. You're right. Maybe it does qualify, but just thinking back, I didn't really think about it, so. My number 2 is Butterball from Hellraiser.
Nice. He's on my honorable mentions.
Yeah, Butterball. His eyes are sewn shut, but he wears sunglasses. What the fuck is the point of that?
And he smacks his lips.
Yeah.
Great.
I guess in the book, he talks the most.
Yeah.
He's the biggest mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Not in the movies though. In the movies, he's very violent and stuff, but
he doesn't talk
really
at all.
Talk at all.
Yeah, he just smacks his lips.
Yeah, he just smacks his lips. He's very disgusting.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I was thinking of fat people, I'm like, he's not really a person. He's a demon, but
he was a fat person at one
pretty
point.
Pretty fat, yeah.
He was a mobster, wasn't he? Like,
there's no backstory to him. I looked it up. I was trying to get his backstory. There's no backstory to him.
Oh no, Chatterbox was in debt to the mob. That's where the mob came in.
Because he talked. That's why he's Chatterbox.
Yeah. Something. He was a comedian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Butterball. Sadly, there's no backstory to. So that I know of. I researched it. I couldn't find it. If anybody listening, if you know it, send it in. If it's wrong, I'll fucking kill you.
Turn you into a Cenobite.
I'll turn you into a Cenobite. My dog Biff will turn you into a Cenobite.
You have to smack your lips around his red rocket. Forever in hell.
Alright, what's your number 2?
I'm at my number 1 now, actually.
Oh, yeah, number 1. I need to write things down or think more clearly, but...
Not be
usually
sick.
I'm just drinking, so I have an excuse. Now I'm sick and I'm drinking.
Yeah.
So, it's a 2-for-1 deal here at the Post-Mortem Show.
Yeah, this whole thing, it could be a total mess. My number 1 comes from a movie that I actually just saw day before yesterday because I was looking up information on fat people in horror, and there's not much out there.
Yeah, you can't. We're going to be the first list that comes up on Google and shit.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
But there is a movie that has been distributed recently as called Criminally Insane. But the original title of the movie was, and I shit you not, Crazy Fat Ethel. And you can
I think I saw this on my research too, but I never saw it, so I didn't.
It's a 1975 movie, and then there's a sequel that was made in 1982. The 1975 original movie is good. It's not great, but it's a good example of 1970s exploitation cinema.
Yeah.
The second movie is absolute
Is
shit.
it like a John Waters kind of movie?
No, it's.
I didn't go there with any.
Yeah.
John Waters has plenty of fat.
Yeah, Edie from Pink Flamingos made my honorable mention.
Yeah.
But no, this one's played totally straight. The story is there's this chick named Ethel, and she's fat, and she's crazy. And she's in a mental hospital for depression and paranoia. They give her ECT, electroconvulsive treatment, and then they send her home to live with her grandmother. And they tell her grandmother, Ethel needs to lose some weight or she's going to die. So as soon as Ethel gets to her grandmother's house, she starts gorging herself, like cooking a whole dozen eggs and a whole package of bacon and slathering butter on toast so it's all over her fingers and shit and just stuff in her face and stuff in her face. And her grandmother finally says, all right, I'm going to empty out the fridge. We're only going to eat dry food and I'm keeping it locked in the cabinet and I have the key. And as soon as Ethel is denied food, she loses her shit and goes on a fucking murder rampage.
That's awesome.
Kills her grandma, kills the delivery boy, just murder. And when she can't hide the bodies anymore, she starts eating them.
The only way a fat person knows how to hide them in their gut.
And Ethel, like, we talk about, movies where they specifically say the psychiatric problem and then they don't depict it well. They depict her depression and paranoia very, very well. And she's like anti-Semitic, like she thinks the Jews are out to get her, and because her doctor was Jewish. And while she's stabbing her grandmother, she's like, "You and that kite doctor are not going to starve me to death. They made me 2 hard-boiled eggs and a piece of dry toast for breakfast every morning. That's not enough." And she plays her character very, very well, and
so it's good. I got to check it out.
It's on YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna check it out.
Criminally Insane, 1975. Her name is Ethel Janowski. Crazy Fat Ethel.
And number one, huh? Deserving
Yeah,
number one. Over fucking Joey? Over Vasti Moses? Come on. My number one. The first horror movie I remember seeing as a kid was Night of the Demons.
Right.
Stooge from Night of the Demons.
Yeah.
The punk rocker with the pig nose for his Halloween costume. When he becomes a demon, he becomes a demon pig hybrid human.
That's right.
Stooge is the man.
Stooge is pretty awesome.
Yeah. Stooge is a total douche. Could have made it the douches list. I think he was on my honorable mentions, but yeah, he is an iconic character for me, and same with Night of the Demons, just as a whole movie.
Yeah.
If you guys have never seen 1985 Night of the Demons, don't go for the fucking Edward Furlong remake.
Yeah, don't fuck with that movie.
Fuck Edward Furlong. You okay?
Yeah.
You gonna live?
I'm coughing on my tongue.
We're almost done.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna take an entire bottle of NyQuil and try to beat off before I fall asleep. Because either way, you're a winner.
That's
when you
right.
drink NyQuil and try to beat off, and either you pass out, or you complete and pass out and don't have time to clean up the evidence.
You get the sticky.
What if you overdose on NyQuil and you're sitting there and pile your own jizz? A family member has to find you. That's embarrassing.
You should hang a sign around your neck that says "sorry" before you do it, just in case.
And it'll draw it in dicks. All the letters made of different dicks. Looping 0 black dicks to make a whole O. Yeah, my number one is Stooge.
Yeah. Way to go. Good call on Stooge.
Honorable mentions.
I had Butterball from Hellraiser. Annie Wilkes from Misery.
Yep, she's on mine as well.
Ida from Motel Hell.
Yep.
Zombie Vera from Dead Alive.
She's on mine as well. Yeah, I didn't put her because Dead Alive's got too much love for me.
Yeah.
I didn't want to just make it the Dead Alive thing, just like Reanimator. So
Right. The Gluttony Victim from Seven.
on mine as well.
Edie from Pink Flamingos. And I didn't put him on my list because he's not super fat, but he's a little bit portly. But he's someone who you and I admire greatly. The one and only Hank Skinny.
Hank Skinny. I was looking. He came up with my ideas too, and I researched pictures. I'm like, it's all chin.
Yeah.
He's not that fat.
Yeah, he's just a little. He's like shaped like a barrel.
Yeah, we'll let him pass.
Yeah, that's why he gets an honorable mention.
Honorable mention. Yeah. If he was a little bit fatter, he'd be my number one.
Yeah, for sure. But, I think part of his portliness is whatever that alien machine is inside of him that allows him to vomit the way that he does.
Yeah. Yeah, and baby legs. Chewing up baby legs in a blender and vitamining them out and eating them again.
Drinking it again out of someone's severed chop top head.
pretty weird. So, my honorable mentions. First is a three-way tie between Uncle Les. You found the dad's old stag movies, eh? And he's sucking on that little fucking asthma thing. That guy's a fucking asshole. I think he was my number one douchebag. Slash the no pudding guy that comes to dinner.
Yeah.
And Mama Vera, all three from Dead Alive.
Yep.
What? No pudding?
There's a lot of fat people in that movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of fat people. Vera's not fat until she becomes a zombie,
Yeah.
so that's why she doesn't pass. So, Jacob Gelman from Terra Firma, as we talked about the late great Fleischicker.
Yep.
Joe Fleischicker. Brenda from Slither. She's not fat to begin with, but once she gets impregnated and that stuff, she gets huge.
Yeah.
So she's a good fat person. You ever seen the movie Feed?
I don't think so.
You never seen Feed? I should have put this on the list. I just couldn't. I couldn't get rid of Joey. I wanted it for the clip and everything. I just needed Joey on my list. But there's a character named Deidre in Feed. Feed is about a guy who's a serial killer who makes fetish movies. He gets fat girls and feeds them to death. And fucks them and stuff on webcam. People pay to see this.
I've never heard of this movie.
They get fatter and fatter to where they can't even fit out a door or anything, and they're like bound to a fucking bed. And he bones them, and he sells these tapes. And there's a detective trying to find him, but he basically kills fat people by taking them to his house and acting like he loves them and pumping them full. He puts IVs full like food into them too and stuff. Like fattens them up to where they're like 1,000 pounds and shit.
Wow,
it's called Feed. You should watch that shit, dude. It's pretty fucking brutal. It's disgusting.
Somebody posted a video on their Facebook of this like 400-pound girl in lingerie eating pizza and like being orgasmic over it, and it sounds like something from this movie.
Feed is one of the most disgusting movies I've ever seen. You gotta check that shit out. I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Okay,
if I'm not mistaken.
I'll look it up.
If not, I have the DVD, so I can let you borrow it. So, Billy Halleck from Thinner, Stephen King's Thinner.
Yeah,
starts out real fat, gets real thin, but a lot of the plot is about him being fat.
Yeah, good fat suit in that movie.
Good fat suit for the time too. Franklin from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the wheelchair guy. He's fat and fucking annoying.
Yeah,
he could be the same character actor as Joey. Like it seems like it's the same guy in my head when I look.
Yeah, I
don't know if it's the same guy or not. But
no, I don't think it is. But I see the crossover.
Yeah, there's a huge crossover in there. The little Jufros and their whiny attitudes. Glutton from Seven, as you said. Ed from Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Sean's friend Ed.
Yeah.
Really great fat guy.
Yeah.
Likable fat guy. I think, I had no likable, I guess if you think Vashti Moses is likable. Ooh.
Yeah. Or a small
Stooge, Butterball. Otho's not, so. Yeah, he might be my most likable one. The fat clown from Killer Clowns.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Kathy Bates in Misery, as you said. Leatherface. Leatherface is a fat guy.
Yeah, he is.
It's too obvious.
He's got good cardio, though.
Yeah, he does for a fat guy. He's always running around swinging chainsaws.
It's a lot of work, man.
Jake from Evil Dead 2 is kind of the Hank Skinny thing. If he was fatter, he'd be on my list. Bobby Joe!
Bobby Joe!
He was a little fatter, he'd be on the list. Gom, the fat guy with the tentacles from Nightbreed, would have been on my list. You know the guy with the tentacles?
Yeah, the tentacles.
Yeah. They come out of the slit in his belly. He would have been on my list if it wasn't for Vashti Moses.
Yeah, Vashti Moses is better.
Vashti Moses is so better. And then my last honorable mention is Martin from Human Centipede 2. Would have been on the list, but a couple of these guys would have bumped out Joey, but I just needed Joey to be on the list.
Right.
How's the What You Doing Vic clip?
What you doing, Vic?
And I'm glad we got to share that story because we had that crossover and it was from your childhood as well. So those are our fatties. Fatty McFat. Fatty McFatty Fats. Serving up their fucking large shakes.
Speaking of that, I need to get back to the gym. I'm out of my neck brace, as our viewers can't. Or
this
our
has been an extra large,
an
XX extra large episode of Post Mortem.
Right.
We hope you enjoyed it. Join us next week. Do we have a topic yet?
We don't.
We don't.
We're gonna hope to maybe have a guest, maybe.
Yeah, we might be having a guest. We've teased some guests in the past, but sometimes that doesn't work out.
Yeah,
so
sometimes
we're just not going to talk about that.
Gives
anymore.
you lemons, and you gotta say fuck the lemons and bail.
Sometimes life gives you lemons. You gotta fuck the lemons, even though it stings. Feels good and hurts at the same time.
Stings your pee hole.
Make yourself a little lemonade. It's a milky lemonade. It's very frothy.
It's a limoncello.
It's like an orange Julius.
God.
Oh, God.
As H.P. Lovecraft once said while drinking his Harry Potter's large shake, it smells like fish.
Throw the fucker back. Big splash. Giant splash this week. Big old fatty McFat.
Cthulhu is my favorite fatty.
He is fat.
Bad boys. Now we may be a little chubby, but don't go slow. We guarantee you one thing: we can surely come to the party and rock the house as we harmonize. Start to turn it out. So put the fresh moon.